Hey, this is Tim Miller. At a Trump rally happening right now in West Palm Beach, Florida, there have been cheers for the attack on the Capitol and praise for the terrorists who are attacking Israel. Freaking insane shit, even for Trump. All right, so let's back up. The first thing that happened before Trump is even on stage tonight, one of the speakers, Rogan O'Hanley, said this.
My favorite memory of him is January 6th. And, yeah. And he is the only man that has stood against election fraud.
You can see the people standing up and starting to cheer. This is like a domestic terrorist cult rally. I passed the Kool-Aid. Like, what in the is happening right now? Like, didn't we have a period of time where these people all pretended like it was Antifa that did the attack on January 6th?
If Antifa was there, we need to root it out and to make sure that that's called out. Antifa infiltration.
Had the reports that groups like Antifa, that they were there to cause trouble.
Now, at a Trump rally, the speakers that go in front of him, the warm-up act, if you will, is getting the crowd hot by bragging about January 6th. This has now been normalized, and as we go into the 2024 general election, assuming Trump's going to be the nominee, like, this crazy stuff is going to be happening every day. It's like the one gift out there that's happening to Biden. But, okay, so that's just the warm-up act, right? Here's then Trump. Trump gets on stage. He gave a speech earlier this week after the attack, after the Hamas terrorist attack on Israel. He barely talked about Israel in this speech up in New Hampshire. Well, here he is today. Maybe this is why his team didn't want him to talk about this, because when he does start talking about Israel, it is like totally wheels off, totally beyond like what anyone might possibly imagine a president would say in the days following an attack where thousands are dead, almost over 20 Americans are dead, where there's still hostages. There's still hostages out there. Here's what Trump is talking about. He calls Hezbollah very smart.
You know, Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart. The press doesn't like when they say it.
And then he says the media is after him. Hezbollah is the ally of Hamas, a terrorist group in Lebanon that is now entering the fray in this war. Trump is praising them. After that, he goes on to praise Chairman Xi.
You know, I said that President Xi of China, 1.4 billion people, he controls it with an iron fist. I said he's a very smart man. They killed me the next day. I said he was smart. What am I going to say?
He goes on some weird tangent talking about how the media gets mad at him and his opponents get mad at him when he talks about how Xi is a strong leader. It's like, yeah, dude. People get mad at you when you say that the terrorist group and the Chinese dictator are very smart. Like, when you have more praise for them than you do for democratically elected leaders, that's kind of a bad sign. Speaking of this, I'm no fan of Bibi, not my cup of tea per se, but again, this is our ally government in the midst of a crisis. Here's what Trump says. He says that he'll never forget that Israel did not help in the Soleimani operation.
But I'll never forget that Bibi Netanyahu let us down. That was a very terrible thing.
He says that Israel let us down and needs to straighten it out. He says they need to strengthen themselves up. And he says that Bibi tried to take credit for the operation, even though he didn't have anything to do with it.
And then Bibi tried to take credit for it. That wasn't good. That didn't make me feel too good, but that's all right.
And is this really the time for petty, jealousy? He's annoyed that Bibi said something nice about Joe Biden, I guess, and so he's out there attacking him while he's trying to deal with the fallout of this terrorist attack? And it'd be one thing to criticize Bibi and say, hey, maybe he wasn't as prepared as he should be. We want to help them be prepared. That wasn't it. He was saying that Israel let us down. What kind of child is this? I mean, again, imagine being a mother and having your kid be a hostage right now. Imagine being a son and having your mother be a hostage right now. I mean, there are people right now that are facing just unimaginable horrors. And Donald Trump's response is like some petty bullshit where he feels like he didn't get enough credit from Israel, like when he was president a while ago. I mean, this guy is a freaking child. you would never have been able to imagine 10 years ago, if you get into a time machine and talk to somebody from 10 years ago and say the former president and the Republican leader to be the presidential nominee again is going to be holding a rally where people cheer for the storming of the Capitol, where the candidate praises Hezbollah days after a terrorist attack, where the candidate attacks our ally days after they were the victim of a terrorist attack. I mean, like, this dude is so far gone, and it is so insane that, like, the media, the mainstream media, the corporate media is incapable of contextualizing it. Right? Like, in any other world, this would be front page screaming headline in the New York Times. Leading Republican contender praises terrorists. At a rally for the leading Republican contender, widespread applause and cheers for the attack on America's Capitol. And yet, this stuff might not even, who knows? We'll see. My guess is it's not even going to make the paper tomorrow, because people have gotten so used to the Trump crazy. We cannot get used to this. It has to be spread. We have to spread the word about just how debased and deranged this guy is to make sure he never gets back in there again. That's just it from one night. That's just it from one speech in West Palm Beach. And subscribe to the page. Unlike the rest of the media, we're not going to ignore this guy. We're going to continue to follow every speech. We're going to punish ourselves by watching it. Subscribe to the channel. Come back. Tune in for more. Peace.